Hi. In today's demo, we're going to take a look at the Guardrails Hub and do a deep dive on policy packs, showing you how to use and leverage policy packs within your Guardrails environment. Policy packs are an updated feature within Guardrails. Previously called smart folders, policy packs allow you to organize groups of policies together and apply them at different levels of your resource hierarchy. They generally focus on a single control objective that you're trying to achieve. There's almost 100 policy packs deployed to the hub right now. There's a few featured on the homepage. Let's check this first one, Enforce IMDS v2 for AWS EC2 instances. Clicking through to it, I see a detailed page explaining to me what the control objective is and giving me some helpful information about how to deploy this to my environment. We're going to use that in just a minute. First, let's check out the policy settings. You can see here we have two policy settings that we're dealing with: enabling the metadata service and the HTTP token hop limit for that metadata service. We can look at the Terraform code that we're going to run by clicking on the GitHub link, and then inside the policies.tf are those two same policy settings that we're going to apply via Terraform. So we're going to do that. We're going to first clone the repo. You can simple git clone command. Now let's clear the screen. Let's set up those environment variables that we saw in the instructions on the Guardrails Hub. Let's go to the overview page, and here you can see we have which environment variables you need to set for your authentication. So here I'm just setting the URL of the Guardrails workspace I'm working with, and now I'll add in my credentials. I already have some credentials, but let's copy some, create some new ones and copy them out here from my workspace. Again, I'm using the copy and paste from the README to make it easier to do this. Now that I have those credentials set up, let's go into the Guardrail sample repo, and I can start exploring it. The folder that we're looking for is called Policy Pack, so I'll change into the Policy Packs folder. And then under there, I'm going to go into AWS, and I'm dealing with EC2 instances, so let's switch into the EC2 directory, the service directory. Clear the screen, and let's list these. You can see here that I have several policy packs, but Enforce IMDS v2 is the one we want. I'll change into that directory, and now I can see those same files that I cloned in from the repo. Now performing a Terraform init that will initialize my repository, and I'm ready to apply the changes to my environment. So I can hit Terraform apply. It will ask me to confirm that it wants me to create these resources. In this case, we have 3 resources, 2 policy settings, and the policy pack itself. I'll say yes. And now that's been successfully created in my workspace. Let's go out to the workspace and view it. So clicking on policies and then policies packs. I have 12 policy packs. Let me just filter on IMDS, and I can see the policy pack that we just created. And it's the same 2 policy settings that we saw on the Guardrails Hub. We've created the policy pack, but we actually haven't applied those policies to any resources within our account, right? So we want these policies to be effective for resources. So I'm going to go back into Guardrails. I'm going to find a test account here. I'm going to go into that account, and then we're going to attach the policy pack to this resource. So I click on the Detail tab, and then Manage next to Policy Packs. This will bring up a modal UI where I can select my new policy pack from the list and hit save. This attaches that policy pack to this AWS account. It will now affect all resources in this account. So let's go to the reports page. I'll look for a controls by state report, and let's filter it by our EC2 instance metadata control. So a lot of EC2 instance controls. Let's add meta at the end of this, and we'll make it easier to find the actual metadata. I can see I have 2 instances in this account, and we're currently in alarm for both those instances. So metadata service is not set for either of those 2 instances. Let's check that in the UI. I'll click through to the instance and then log into AWS using Guardrails federated authentication. Navigate to the EC2 service. Let's see those running instances. You can see I have 2 instances here. Both I created as a test. Neither have IMDS set to v2 by default or by required. They have it optional, but this control objective is to set that as required. So how would we do that? Let's do that through Guardrails. I'm going to go back to the policy pack. Instead of editing this through Terraform, which I could do, let's edit it directly in the UI. So I'm going to go into the instance metadata service. I'm clicking on the little pencil icon and changing it from a check control to an enforced control. So I'm enabling it enforced for V2 only. I apply that to the environment. Now if I go back and take a look at my control, I see it's an alarm. After a few seconds, it will change to OK because that has been applied to my environment. Turbot has automatically reconfigured those resources. You can see here both of the alarms I had previously are now in OK state. Let's go check that on the AWS side. Here, just a little quick refresh, and we can see now IMDS v2 is required for both instances with one policy setting. If I had 100 or 1,000 instances in this account, the same thing would occur. Those policy packs will apply to the full scope of the environment that you apply them to. So I hope you can see how powerful this is, a way for you to find and discover control objectives that your peers at other companies, that our own internal architects have designed and built into the system. With several thousand policies in Turbot Guardrails, it's often complex to find exactly the combination of policies that you want to achieve a specific control objective. We hope that Policy Packs makes it easier for you and your teams in order to do that, and we really look forward to your feedback overall on this feature and where we can take it going forward. If you're a current Guardrails customer, you can get started today by going to hub.guardrails.turbot.com. If you want to check out Guardrails and learn more about it, best place to start is turbot.com/start. Thank you so much.